Hello dear students, how are you? Hope you all are well. Today we will discuss with a poem named The Lake Isle of Innisfree, and it is written by W.B. Yeats. Students, you will get this poem in Unit 12, Lesson 1. Today we will discuss how to write the summary of the poem. But before starting the summary of the poem, we have to know some key points about the writer. You know, W.B. Yeats is an Irish poet. He was born in 13 June 1865, and the place of his birth was the name of Sligo. It was situated in Dublin. It's a remote area in London. Though he was born in Sligo, but after his birth, his family was transferred to London. Completed his schooling in Hammersmith, but most of his time, especially his holidays and his boyhood, was passed in Sligo. And we know Sligo was a rural area. As a result, we can see the reflection of the rural scenery, folklore, supernatural legends, and the colorful picture of natural scenery in most of his poems. First successful writing of W.B. Yeats was The Wandering of Oisin, and it was written in 1889. His last writing was The Last Poems. It was written in 1939. I have mentioned the name of this poem especially because this poem was dictated just few hours before his death, and he died in 28 January 1939. He has written various famous poems, but some notable works of Yeats was When You Are Old, Adam's Curse, No Second Troy, so and so on. Today, I will discuss with Lake Isle of Innisfree one of most notable works of W.B. Yeats, and it was written in 1890. You will get this poem in the book written by W.B. Yeats named The Rose. Okay, dear student, now let's come to discuss about the poem. I want to read the poem in front of you. Students, first I want to read the poem in front of you, otherwise you cannot understand the main theme of the poem. And sorry for handling the guidebook because I have lost my textbook, and that's why I am bound to take this book in my hand. Okay, let's see, dear student, the first line of the poem is, I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree. In the first line we can see that the poet has expressed his wish that he wants to get up and wants to go to a place named Innisfree. Innisfree, it's a coastal area, and it's a remote area, and of course it's a rural area. So in the very beginning of the poem we can realize the actual wishing of the poet. In the second line we are getting, and a small cabin built there. He wants to build a small cabin in Innisfree, which will be made of clay, and what else made. Because in the second line we are getting, he is expressing, and a small cabin built there of clay, and what else made. Do you know what is clay? Clay means mud. And what else you can express this, what else? It is like I'm using the Bengali meaning because just now I'm not getting the English word, appropriate English word, so I'm using the Bengali word, that is dal palar bera. You can use this word against what else? That is dal palar bera. In the third line we are getting 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee. 9 bean rows, shetha pabo ami noy shari motorshute. A hive for the honeybee. Hive means it is created by the bees. You know, hive is created by the bees, and that's why the Bengali meaning of this line will be সেথা পাবো আমি নয় নয় শাড়ি মটরশুঁটি, মৌচাকে পাবো মধুমক্ষিকা, and live alone in the blue loud glade. মৌকুঞ্জে থাকবো সেথায় নির্জন বনবিথিকায়. So now it is totally clear for us the writer actually want to get relief from the din and bustle of this busy modern city life. He wants to get a isolated, peaceful life in rural areas. I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow. The writer here is expecting that he will get some peace in rural areas in the lap of nature, and he believes that for peace comes dropping slow. Shanti আগমন করে ফোটায় ফোটায়. Dropping from the veils of the morning to where the cricket sings. প্রভাতের পর্দা ফুঁড়ে ফোটায় ফোটায় আসে সেটা ঝিঝি পোকার গান. Here, two special words we can see. I think you are not aware of this word. One is veil. Veil means curtain, that is porda. And cricket, I think it's one word for you. Cricket means, do you know what is cricket? Cricket means jhiji poka. They are midnights, all a glimmer and moon a purple glow. সেখানে মিটমিট করে জলে মধ্যরাত, যার দ্বিপ্রহরে রশ্মি বেগুনি. You know purple meanings বেগুনি and glimmer. Here the writer wants to say that if he can go to Innisfree, he will see the midnights all a glimmer. যেটা মধ্যরাতে মিটমিট করে জ্বলে. That is, here the writer is mentioning about the twinkling stars. An evening full of the linnet's wings. আর ডানায় ডানায় ভরে যায় সন্ধ্যা শ্যামা গায়কের ঐকতান. The writer here saying again, I will arise and go now for always night and day. তিনি জেগে উঠবেন এবং তিনি সেখানে যাবেন, কারণ সদা দিবানিশি তিনি সেই ডাক শুনছেন. Here we can see a conflict in writer's manner, because he is leading a luxurious life in London, but actually he is always hearing the calling of nature, the calling of simple life, the calling of rural life. And that's why he is saying again, I hear lake water lapping with low sound by the shore. হ্রদের তীরের ছলাৎ ছলাৎ ক্ষীণ আওয়াজের ভান. Where I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's grey. যখন দাঁড়াই পথে বা কোনো ধূসর চত্বরে, I hear it in the deep first core. তিনি হৃদয়ের গভীরে যেন কোনো একটা ডাক শুনতে পান. Actually, this poem makes us understand that the writer here wants to just clear freedom from this busy life. Urban life is full of atrocities and artificialities. It is a little mechanized, and it can give us luxury, it can give us money, it can give us posh life. Our living standard can be high, but it cannot give us peace. And year after year, the great writers have proved that in front of us that money cannot give us peace. Money only give us luxury. The actual peace means another thing. So the poet wants to go to the rural areas. The poet wants to live in the lap of the nature. And if we want to analyze this poem, what is his actual wishing in this poem? We can see that here the writer is expressing his homesickness. He is living in London, but he is always attracted to his birthplace, that is Sligo. And another point we can follow in this poem, that is escapism. We can say that Yeats was an escapist because he is wanting to get free from this modern life. He wants to live in another place. So in this sense, we can say that he was an escapist. Students, if we call him an escapist, it's in one sense a negative side. There is also a positive side in his poem. That is, we can see a nationalistic feeling in this poem. And feelings of nationalism has been expressed in his poem. We can say that, and I think it's a positive side of the writer. And there is also an expression of conflict in his poem, that is a conflict between reality and imagination. Actually, he is living in London, but he is always hearing the calling of Sligo. He is always hearing the calling of nature, calling of rural life, calling of a peaceful life. So here it is totally clear to us he is always suffering from a conflict. These are the background of this poem, and now time comes to write the summation of the poem. And if you understand the poem really, then I think you can write it properly. Otherwise, you can take the help of any guidebook. It will be easy for you if you take help from the guidebook to write the summary. And you have to remember that the summation will be 1/3 of the total poem. If you think that you have to write so many lines for the summary of the poem, then you will lose your marks. You have to complete the summation within 50 words. And please note down these points about years, and note down these basic points about the poem, and first try to write the summary at your home. Then take the help of guidebook or your teacher. And after writing that, please send me and I will check it. And I think now it will be easy for you to write the summary of this poem. Okay, thank you.